Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about a topic that I think is funny. It's a topic that came up when I was chatting with someone in a consultation, a video call, and it's someone I've done a couple of consults with, helping them out with some things. They're not a regular client, they're a regular follower. And this whole topic of RPE came up in my generation, and it's like he kind of laughed and he's like, yeah, I mean, you guys all got big and strong 25, 30 years ago before all this RPE stuff was on the internet. It's like, exactly. The first gym I trained at, there were at least 6 guys squatting 500 pounds, at least, that I knew, right? It was normal. And people got big and strong just fine without some of these programming ideas. It wasn't necessary, and it's still not necessary. I don't even believe in the RPE thing. Unless the RPE scale starts at 9 or 9.5, I don't think there's any point in it at all. We can just throw the whole thing away. It's complete nonsense. Like anyone talking about doing an RPE 7 single or double or whatever. Why are you wasting your time? That's just garbage junk sets. Don't even bother. Like, why are you wasting your time with that? That's called a warm-up. Okay, so you hit an RPE 7 single and then you put another 50 pounds on the bar, right? You see where I'm going with this? Like, why would you waste your time? People say, well, technique. There's no technique to that. It doesn't even carry over. Okay, let me be clear. Nothing on your form under 90% carries over to your form on a max on the same exercise. All right? A box squat at 95% will carry over better to a back squat max than an 85% or an 80% rep will on the back squat, right? So in other words, if it's heavier, the box squat actually has better skill transfer than a slightly lighter back squat will. Why? Because it's totally different. There's no straining. It's not learning to brace under the heavy load. It's not increasing your neural drive. It's not doing any of that stuff. The muscles are not even used the same. And I don't think people grasp that when they get into these absurd ideas. It's bullshit. The muscles are not used at the same ratios at 80% that they are on a max. They are not. So on a squat, you do not use the same ratio of quad and glute on a lighter weight that you do with a truly heavy weight. The muscles are not even activated in the same percentages. Same thing on a bench with your pecs versus your triceps, all of that. So why are you bothering? You're wasting your time. You're fucking around at the gym is what you're doing. We call it fuck around-itis. All right. You know why people got big and strong when I was younger? Because we trained hard. That was it. We ate a lot of protein and we trained hard. And I'm not saying programming doesn't have its place. I'm not saying structured training doesn't have its place. I coach a heck of a lot of it. I coach a lot of it. My bread and butter. But this idea that, oh, we should be coming in and doing really easy sets. Yeah, just don't even bother. Like, why are you even doing it? It's called junk volume. If you've got 4 reps in reserve or you are doing singles at anything under 90%, like you're doing 1 rep sets that aren't at least a bare minimum of 90% of your max, you get, it's pretty much a negligible training response. Okay? So in other words, if you can deadlift 500 pounds, I'm going to throw out a little light number like that, and you come in and you do singles at 430, I don't care how many singles you do, it was a wasted effort. You can come in and do 10 singles with that. Your training response is going to be nearly 0. Now, if you came in and did 5 or 6 reps on a single set with that, maybe 8 reps, that would count. 10 singles, nada. You each come in and do 485 for 1 rep and get more training response than you got out of those 10 singles. And it'd probably beat you up less. So again, this is a waste of time. We just trained really hard. Hey, and that's something that someone brought up also, the idea of not doing every set to within 1 rep of failure or to failure is a fairly new concept, and yet people got jacked and strong. They got jacked and strong just fine. Just fine. Right? And that's the bodybuilders and the powerlifters. And again, I am not saying we shouldn't structure stuff, but again, people come in and they just half-ass everything. Right? They half-ass everything. The sets are not challenging, and that's not challenging. I'm sorry, guys, but anything when people are talking about this RPE 7 or 8 or any of this, why would you do that? Just stay home. Don't even go to the gym. And if you're making any gains from it, it's because you're doing hypertrophy work afterwards. Okay? You're coming in and doing work sets like that on your bigger lifts, and you gain any strength at all, it's probably because you did some leg presses close to failure afterwards. Right? It wasn't from your squatting or benching because you did some dumbbell work close to failure or to failure afterwards. It got your chest bigger. Got your quads bigger on some machine. That's why you got stronger. It wasn't from that other silly nonsense. Okay? Notice when I'm doing singles there like that, that's relatively heavy. I think that's at least 90%. If it's not, then you're telling me I could squat more than 550 off that box right now as an old man. I don't think I can. So, that's at least 95%. Why? Because that's what we need to do. You can train like that every week. Let me state that again. I'm 48 years old. I do lifts like that every week. That's a normal workout day for me. Like, what are you guys doing? So really, the RPE scale should be 9 or 10. That's it. There should be no other numbers. And if you're using anything other than that, you're goofing off. It's complete nonsense. And so again, ludicrous ideas that would have been laughed at in previous generations by people who were making real gains. Okay? And yet when I give these strength standards, people tell me it's unrealistic. When I say, yes, normal guys should be able to bench 300, squat 400, deadlift 500 if you're over 40 and you've been going to the gym for years. Perfectly reasonable. And those are way below my numbers, so don't give me that crap. Well, you're only saying that because you do it. I'm so far above that. So don't even go there with me, guys. You just watch me do 500 off a box. That's harder than a back squat. Okay, so yeah. Ludicrousness. Generation lazy. That's what RPE is from. Generation lazy. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.